All right, welcome everybody. This is episode 3 of Higher Conversations with Scott and Cal here. Scott Hankins, it's nice to see you. And today
Good to
we're
see
going to
you,
be
man.
talking. Yes. Today we are going to be talking about an area that people can get to where you've gone through something difficult in your life and maybe something tragic, and you've been going through the motions, going to your job, waking up in the morning, doing your daily routine, and you start to notice there's problems that people encounter, and maybe something has happened to you in your life to where you feel lost, and there's something that you were trying to do but you just can't get a hold of. You can't control your life. And now we're trying to understand more of where to go from here. And Scott can talk more into depth about that sensation that we feel that we get to when we've lost something. And where do we go from there? That is our question. So Scott, can you elaborate a little bit more onto that?
Yeah, I like to say, when life starts to not make sense like it used to, I think in moments like that, we start asking questions. What's the meaning of life? Why am I alive? What's all this, about? Um, because it's like at first, we're chasing pleasures of this world. We're getting what we want initially, or maybe not. But for those of us who've kind of done some things in life, say you've achieved, quote unquote, been successful, all of a sudden success just kind of fades. There's this emptiness that happens after the pleasures received of whatever you wanted, whether it be a car, status, a job, a person you're with. Something starts to leave you. Something starts to empty, and that empty void inside is a question. It's this deep longing for something more than what this world can give us, is what I like to say. And that's kind of a deeper topic. What else is there other than this world? There's got to be more. So I think when we get struck with some kind of tragedy in life that throws our life upside down, would be lost of a loved one, loss of a job, or just out of the blue, you wake up and you're like, this world is it's crazy. I'm tired of the 9 to 5. I'm tired of the rat race. I'm tired of this because there's got to be more to life, and there is. So we're here to have a conversation about what this is, what life really is,
Yes.
and it's not about the material. It's something that we need to initially feel lost. We need to feel empty so we can have a question, so we can search, so we can grow a bigger desire for something beyond this world, beyond this 5 sense kind of realm. And I think we can get deeper into that. So anyway, I
Yes.
just wanted to add to that.
There's, for example, I'll give like a personal example so that people can relate to. As I grew up in St. Louis, and I pretty much had everything given to me. I went to school, high school, had a great life, you know, have friends doing the usual things. And then I go to college, and for the first time, now you're away from family, you're doing your own things, you're learning about yourself. And um as I go through college, you don't really know what you're wanting to get into. People talk about, trying to find a job, or if you are an entrepreneur or you have that kind of mindset, you want to make your own thing happen. There's so many types of routes and things in life that you're thinking about. You're wanting to obtain something. You want to try to achieve something that makes you deem successful. And through school, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do in this world, this whatever jobs are out there. So I chose the physical therapy route, and I gone through physical therapy school. But as I started going through PT school and studying so many things and just reading about all this stuff, getting into the job, and then I go to my clinical rotations, I start working. It just, to me, it didn't seem right. There's something that's going on. You're going through your life, and all of a sudden, you're like, is this what I was born to do? To go to school and just to do physical therapy? Or what is there? So I started questioning things. And it's not necessarily a loss that started things, or my questioning of what's happening in life. It was more of the mundaneness of the everyday things. And that is kind of what opened that consciousness to me, that awakening of there's got to be something more than just doing your life, going to work, and that's it. There's something else. And
Yeah.
and I'm, yes. So with that being said, there are people out there who've gone through something like this, or you're maybe feeling that same lostness. You're awake to something. You're like, is this what life is all about? There's got to be more to that. What from here should we be doing, Scott?
Yeah. Well, I have a similar story as well. So being in, just like you, sharing the same occupation of physical therapy, that's how we met. Um, After a while, you achieve certain things in your occupation, your life, or even not. You feel frustrated, which I have felt as well. Um, you start to ask deeper questions, and you search more than what this world can give you. You're looking for some kind of place to kind of find a foothold. So, where do we go from here? That is a very good question. And I think where we go from here, for those of us who feel that there's got to be more to this world, this life, than what meets the eye or the five senses. First and foremost, we have to search for who we are. We got to find out the truth of us. There's a lot of talk out there about, am I, you know, some, I mean, it's out there now. And I'll just kind of say it maybe for those who've been YouTubing and so on and looking around. I am some kind of experiment from aliens from an outer, another realm. Okay, there's that idea.
We're in a simulation.
Yeah, we're like in a yeah, yeah. So we're and that's a whole other conversation. But you know, am I that? Am I just this protein body and personality type that is stuck in my um, the five sense world and my job or all the options I have in this world that that's all I can choose from. Well, I will say this, according to what I have done in my life and what I have when many others have done as well, who felt lost, who felt like they didn't know what life was about. They stumbled upon, I would say, a deeper wisdom. Okay. That's usually, I like to say, very perennial, something that seems through multiple religions. There's a commonality. That commonality is a teaching that tells us who we are. And who we are is not our bodies or our personality or our current perception of reality. Much more than that. And what I want to say about that is each one of us desires, first and foremost, to have eternal pleasure and to be 100%. And I'll go on the edge on this and just say 100%. We want to be lovers of everybody. That's a hard thing to think about. There's a lot of people out there we don't like. How can I love them? And this world is just, they don't deserve love. They hurt me and so on. True. But these people, just like us, we don't know who we are. And so we're acting out of a negative personality types, ego, a reactive defensive state that we don't like anymore. And what we want to do is find out who we are, but we know inside, deep inside, we're truly lovers of humanity. We're givers. and we're unique and special. Not like we're special, like in an egoistic kind of way. We're unique. And there's only one person in this world that can do something, and that is you. No one else can. We want to feel that, but we want to evolve to that state to know who we are in our uniqueness and who we truly are. And there is a wisdom that shows us how to do that. And it's not what you think you are, it's much more than that and more beautiful than that. So you can be truly a loving person of all and get to a state where you can actually sense you're connected to source, whatever you want to call it, creator, God, whatever. So there is a wisdom that does talk about that and helps us find that.
So when somebody is trying to look for themselves, that's the goal now. You've felt lost. Now you're trying to understand, where do I fit in this scene? I feel like I have no control over the what happens in life. And now you're trying to understand what to do from here. You can't really tell the future, but you want to be proactive, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to find that control. The thing
Mm-hmm.
that you can control is to find yourself, change your mindset, change the way you think about things. You have to develop yourself in order to now step out into the world and do be a doer. But to find yourself now is the question. Where does one go from that? And
Mm-hmm.
now to begin that, we have to almost understand what the difference is between this world's who you are, what you think you are, your personality, your likes, your dislikes, um, your behaviors. Those are all things that the environment in the world has shaped you to become. But that
Mm-hmm.
is not the true you. The true you is something that's beyond that. That's what we call essence, your essence.
Right.
How can we dive deeper into that? What exactly is essence, and how does one find an essence? Not your personality, not your behaviors, but who you are.
Yeah, there's a programming in us that has been given to us after so many years after being born. You know, we tend to kind of crystallize or solidify our personality, which is what we're not, which is the influences of this world from our parents, you know, the environment around us from school and other influences around us. We take on um, uh, those influences, and then we try to match it and we try to be it. And we're not that. Because we try to be something we're not, we feel empty. I'll leave it at that. Because we try to be something we're not, we're empty. And that's something you can let that sink in, what I just said, because that is something very true. And then when you start to find out who you are, or try to figure out who you are, um, you stumble upon this feeling that I came into this world exactly as I am. That's essence. Essence is who you are at birth. There's a wisdom that's called the fourth way. And in addition to that, there's people who studied the Kabbalah. And that wisdom, as well as the fourth way, it's the same kind of thing. It's to teach you who you really are and what you're not. So, essence is who we are, and we have to grow it. Just like a baby has to grow, we grow in our personality, what we're not. But when you get to who you are, you start to find out who you are, a loving, wonderful, excitable human spirit from source, from God, or creator, whatever you want to call it. You actually start to become, when you grow that essence, you fully mature into who you are. And that wisdom teaches you how to grow into who you truly are. So it's not about making a living. It's about living how you are. And that's a big difference. And people want that because that emptiness they feel, that lacking, is them not connecting to their true essence and then connecting to their source that created their essence.
Yeah, I like when you said that you try to be something that you're really not, and that's where you feel empty.
Yeah.
And when when we're born, we're kids, kids love to play and they're out, they're just being themselves. But
Yeah.
as we grow older, we start to take on society and what society tells us we need to do, and we're conforming to these rules that have been external. You're no longer yourself. Someone tells you, oh, you now you got to grow up, you got to go to school. Okay, well,
Yeah.
you just start doing all these things and conforming to the societal ways, and now you're trying to identify with those things. Oh, I need to be a physical therapist. What entitles that? Well, yes, go do your job, be the physical therapist that you need to do, you have to do that, but you identifying with that is almost the the lostness inside you, because that's not you shouldn't
Yes.
say that is you. That
Yes.
is
Yes.
you are just that. It just so happens in this world that you are doing that duty, but you at the core, that is not who you are. So
Correct.
we try to connect too much on identifying what we thought we are, but
Right.
that will only leave you empty. You have to find the essence, the who you truly are, the child inside of you.
There you go. That child inside of us needs to be found so it can be grown. And there's a wisdom. And most importantly, that wisdom comes with a teacher. We all need a teacher who's been through the process, who's done it already, or at least in process ahead of you. And they're giving you these gems of wisdom to get you to grow into who you are. So the biggest takeaway, I think, from this conversation is being lost, being empty, whatever you want to call it, unfulfilled, is a beautiful awakening in your evolutionary process. To I'm going through it, you're going through it. We're all kind of sojourners on the way. We're all just kind of friends in the fellowship trying to get through this life, not to succeed in the world's eyes, but to discover who we truly are. And when we do that, we start to create friendships, a community. We start to create connections that goes beyond having a beer at the bar with the guys or hanging out with the ladies, on a Friday night playing bunco, which is fine. It's a good time. But there's more to that. And that is connecting our hearts, opening our hearts to each other, discussing things that are pretty deep. And we start to find out who we are in that, because there's a knowledge that's not here that we get when we connect and talk. It's here. I start to feel this sense of kindness and love and connection towards my fellow man that happens initially with the people that we're connecting with who have awakened. When we do that, then we go to Walmart, we go out in the community, we go, oh my gosh, I start to feel this sense of attitude, this shift in perception towards everyone. I love them too, because your heart's opening. That's who you are, like a kid in the backyard playing t-ball, kickball, running around playing tag without fighting. Kids fight, they do that. There's an essence, there's an openness to who you are that comes out. That is who you are. No defensiveness, no conditioning. No, you got to do this, you got to do that. That's the wisdom. It teaches you how to find out what that is. And when you do that, you start to life starts to make sense. And you start to ask deeper questions, and you get a teacher, and you need to have that support. You need to have people around you to kind of support you in that walk, because you want to give up, because it gets hard, because we're living in this world that's against all this. And so you need people to help you stay focused. So feel lost, that's a good thing, and find your tribe, so to speak.
Yes, that feeling of lostness, a lot of people share that, and keep staying in touch, and you'll notice those people, you'll start to know that they have this sort of question as well. And we all need to stick together and continue this questioning journey, because that will start to unleash some pretty cool powers. So
Exactly. Yeah.
we'll actually end this episode off that, so that way, um, digest it and continue to follow with us and join our community. Let us keep interacting and keep questioning, and we'll we'll express more ideas and thoughts as we go through on the later episodes. So Scott, I want to thank you for coming out, taking the time, and having this discussion, and there's going to be plenty more to come.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll definitely reach out and try to do this a little bit more frequently than we have been. And just to let you know, for those who are listening, we're trying to um, resonate with all of you because we're in this path together. And when this life doesn't make sense, that's a good thing. It doesn't make sense in this world to us as well. But what does make sense is pursuing a path that allows us to find out who we are so we can become the person that we really are with others in the right connection, in a right community. And that is a promise. And I think that has been foretold years ago. I think we're very close to that point right now. So more to come.
Yes. Please comment any thoughts that you guys have, and we would love to interact and continue. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.